What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of the RPO College Football Podcast. I'm your humble host, Jerome Jones, and I'm here with my guy, you know, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Ray Roberts. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, Jerome. How are you?
I'm doing great. I was telling you earlier, I've been sick since Sunday. I'm still a little under weather, so you might hear a little this is that. I might cough here and there, but I'm feeling a lot better. I'm feeling good. A rough week as far as football. We're gonna get into that for a second. Just a little rough, a little rough. I mean, both my teams lost, and we're gonna talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the bowl games, though, the games themselves had a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the games was very fun.
A lot of good games this week. Yep, very
Yeah,
interesting for sure.
yeah, and we kind of alluded to that coming into the week as well because we had some a little bit of games that were you know. Eh,
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of closer games this week for sure. So, um, before we get into the individual games, what was maybe your favorite game, right?
Notre Dame, South Carolina.
I mean, you make my selection feel just as biased too. I was gonna say Michigan and TCU.
I
I
mean, I
mean,
think that game was a good game. Notre
yeah,
Dame game was a pretty good game.
yeah,
Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State game was a real good game.
yeah,
Um, Texas, Washington was a solid game.
yeah.
I mean, the only game that really was bad was the Alabama
Alabama
game.
game. Yep. That was
And
really what you was that?
Tennessee beating Clemson was wasn't a great game because Tennessee really pretty much led throughout most of the game.
Yeah,
I'm going to say I was not surprised by
yeah.
the way the line moved like the day before the game came out.
Uh,
And Clemson their defense has not played consistent all year, and they had
it's
another day.
crazy, Ray, and we talked about this throughout the season. All the play, I mean, dude, like they got already like four guys going out in the draft already, and then that's not even half the team like declared they're coming back or not. Like half the defense haven't even decided. So they got a lot of talent coming out of that defense, but as a collective group, I don't know what's going on, and we could dabble in that game a little bit later on, right?
We will.
But I want to talk about this first game because a lot of you guys decided to call me after that game, and I was not pleased with that. So I told you guys to podcast, and you have not. And it's okay because we got a few guys in here, and I know that's our normal guys. So shout out to you guys for being here. I do appreciate each and every one of you guys for being here. But I will say this: after that Michigan game, I was not mad at all. I was mad at you guys calling me because of we lost. I was not mad, dude. I'm telling you, that was the most fun game I've seen. That game was so fun, like in a losing effort. That tells you how good that game was. I'm gonna just kind of go right through it. TCU versus Michigan. Before I even get to the problems of the game, what I liked about the game, this is that. I will be the first one to apologize to TCU. I gave you guys no type of credit, and I will say, y'all played. Now, I will say this too, and I may be counteracting myself a little bit too. Michigan shot ourselves in the foot a lot, especially in the first half of that game. A lot. Um, but give credit to credit's due. Y'all won the game. I mean, I did not like how y'all kind of trolled us after the game, TCU. I'm looking at you guys. Kind of trolled us a little bit, but it's all right. Whatever. Bygones be bygones. I mean, I guess we would have did the same thing to you guys. So I'm not gonna say nothing about that. But I will say this: it was a super fun game. First and foremost, Michigan driving straight down the field. First drive of the game. Got all the way down to the end zone. I believe it was that the play where we did the deep bomb and we just got at the one.
Yeah.
No. That was the play.
No, no, no.
That was the drive.
Before.
The
Yeah.
first drive, he drove all the way down the field, and we did a trick play and didn't get the fourth down. That
Right.
was so my issue with that was coaching. And I will say this, we got out coached. This game we definitely got out coached. For sure. In a sense, but I'll get into that too. We definitely got out coached. Didn't like that play. I mean, you got fourth and nothing. Pound the ball, man. Pound the ball. Like, hey, do it. I'd rather you do a option pass or something like that, or even not really RPO, but like an option where the quarterback can be a running back at that point. At least you have some kind of confusion. When you do in a Philly special and your quarterback get locked down. And I'm gonna say this too. Before the play, you can see there was confusion before the play even started, where JJ McCaffrey was already like signaling to his running back like a few times. So it was already kind of sketchy. Even I was like, I know they're about to do some of this Philly special stuff. He got back under center. I was like, oh, okay, they're not. And then I seen it reverse. I was like, they're really gonna do it, ain't they? And they did it. But it got covered up. You can't do that on fourth and goal, man. The Eagles didn't even do that on fourth. Wait, yeah, we did actually. But it was too early to do that. We gave them a lot of momentum there. I believe they went down the field right after that, or we shut them down. I forget exactly. Second drive, go all the way down the field again. Questionable call with the refs, and I'm not gonna blame this on the refs. There was a couple of questionable ones that were very close. I thought that was a touchdown. I thought that was a touchdown. Initially, just watching it. Even after hearing them talk about it, where he kind of bobbled the ball first, then called it, I was like, that makes sense. All right, it should be touchdown. And it was reversed. It wasn't conclusive, whatever. It was reversed. So it was, you get what I'm saying? Like, and usually when things get reversed, it needs clear evidence. So again, not blaming the refs. We were still in that game, so I'm not pitting that. But you fumble on the one. You fumble on the one. Oh, that hurt. That hurt. After that, they had all types of momentum. They went down the field and scored. Then we threw a pick six, 14-0. I'm telling you, Ray. At that point, even at that point, I was like, all right, we can still have this. I think at one point it was down 17-0, if I'm not mistaken. It was getting bad, but I love the fact because we went down the field, we scored again. We was high flying. They shut down our run, but we still have options on the in the passing game. Outside of those two, pick sixes that JJ McCaffrey did, outside of that, he played extremely well. Now those two pick sixes was horrible, and that was the difference in the game. But he did enough to get us all the way back. We had even a chance to win the game at the end of the game. We did fumble the ball. It was a bad exchange, and then they were just trying too much with the last play of the game, killed the game. But I'm telling you, I don't think I've ever had so much fun in that game. Like it was no, and I can't even really say it was no defense, right? And I know you were saying that a little bit, but I can't. And I'm gonna let you talk in a second.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even be mad with the defense because like when I seen what TCU was doing, a lot of that came off of big plays when we was blitzing. And it was like I said, coaching was good because they called the right play against our blitzes every time we did call the blitzes. And it was almost every time it was big plays. Um Max Duggan was not that impressive outside of those big plays. Now he made the plays when he needed to make those plays. And again, I'm not taking any credit, no credit from TCU and whatever. I think that was all coaching in that one. I really feel like we got simply out coached in that game. But for us to be in the game, we made our adjustments. Defense got a couple of takeaways to help us get back in the game. They did enough to allow us not to get, allow us to still be in the game. Offense was very explosive when we need to. Outside of those 3 turnovers, and yeah, 3 turnovers is a lot, and that's bad. You can't have that in any game, especially a game where you're trying to go to the national championship or a playoff game. You can say that about NFL too. If you lose 3 turnovers in any type of game, you will lose that game. So I do, like I said, I have fun doing it. I'm gonna let you talk, Ray, because I could talk for hours about this game. But Ray, what do you think?
I agree with what you said about Michigan, except for the fact that their linebacker play was really bad in this game. The
It
linebacker
was
spot
a
was
lot
the
of
one spot where
there was a lot of missed tackles. A lot of missed
their
tackles.
ability to run the ball and sustain drives running the ball. Max Dugan didn't do nothing exceptional. It was more
Chris,
just
Chris, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Chris. I disagree.
that.
I disagree. I can't say that anymore because the
You
way
can't.
like they outcoached us, Chris. They outcoached us. I can't like if you coached very well, the talent pool don't need to be that great. If you coach very well and you have a disciplined team and a team that believes in you, I don't think you need to be a great team. I mean, you could say they don't belong because now they're gonna be playing Georgia, and we're gonna talk about that in a little bit, well later on. But like, I can't agree with that, Chris. But go ahead, Ray.
I mean, I do. I think that do I think TCU was like we've talked about this before, Jerome.
Yeah,
We had our thoughts about TCU didn't belong
yeah,
in the playoffs, but they
yeah.
showed that on any given day
Mhm.
you belong where you belong. I mean,
Yeah.
you played against Michigan. You again you ran the ball for over 200
Chris, you
yards.
are right about that, Chris. Everybody was saying that, including both of us. You were.
Yes, he's right. No, he said it.
Yeah,
No, I agreed. That's why I just
yeah,
said we said that before that we didn't feel like TCU's body of work would hold up in the championship rounds. We were wrong. They did,
exactly.
and they did. So
Yeah, definitely. But go ahead. Say what you. I think you was gonna say
but
something
again,
about.
Michigan played on defense fairly well,
Yeah,
getting turnovers. But again, their inability to stop a run when they needed to was not good. Their linebacker play was horrible. So
yeah. I give you that, Ray. I think another thing, and season's kind of over. We'll talk about this during the offseason and stuff like that. But if you really look at this Michigan's team, we're not losing much and we're gaining a lot.
mhm.
And I think that this is a recipe for a repeat. JJ, you gotta remember this was JJ's first starting year, first time playing in the playoffs, um, stuff like that. So I think that you know, and we just got news that we're losing. And I think it's Antrell and Antrell, one of our receivers. He was definitely a promising wide receiver, but I don't know, man. Can't wait for this football season to be over. Still not recovering from my team losing. We're definitely gonna talk about that in a second, Remy. So Kristen and Remy definitely stay along because we're gonna talk about Ohio State as well. Also, TCU needs to find a way to get the ball more to Creed Johnson. Yeah. Buckeyes receiver abuse Rango. Johnson do the same. I agree with that.
They got it
But
to him, and they got it to him against Michigan for about a buck 60 in the
that
touchdown.
game
So
was going crazy, bro. And I'm like, I never like. I'm gonna be real with you. I've heard of his name throughout the season. I never actually watched him play. I heard he was really good. He showed why he was good. I'm like, woo. But again, like most of his big plays were against the blitz too. So
and
I'm not again. And that was the
missed
thing.
tackles, man. It was bad.
That was the thing. It was a lot. Like if you're gonna blitz, you need to tackle, and
Correct.
he was the player that you needed to get your hands the ball to during those blitz plays because he's a big physical guy
He
and
is.
he pass and he can catch. So
Yeah.
when he got the ball and a couple of defenders was just getting shed off him because he's so big and fast and strong. So
I mean, it's easy to say you should have doubled them now, but when you're missing tackles, it doesn't really matter.
but you can't double them if you blitzing. So
Exactly. But
and
I would have
that's why
played.
I'm sorry, Ray, but that's why I want to give TCU the credit because they called the plays when they needed to call the plays. Like they did what they needed to
The
do.
problem
So
is because of Dugan's athleticism, you're afraid to play man coverage against him.
yeah,
So you're afraid to come out and try to reroute them. So you kind of like want to play a little zone, a little soft zone, or even a little soft man. And then it's like, okay, well, he gets the ball and we miss a tackle and he runs 30 yards. So,
yeah. Shout out to Chris, man. He talking. This man is an Ohio State fan, and he's talking some good stuff, man. I appreciate you, but he's right. JJ's stock the last few games are a lot better, and I'm definitely encouraged with him. We still got what's his name? We don't know what Blake Corum's gonna do. I don't see him coming back, honestly. But you never know. He might come back.
here's my
Like I said,
question.
good recruits that came in. We got good transfers coming in.
Here's a question for you, Jerome. That
Yeah, right.
gadget play you were talking about to start the game, if Quorum's there, does that happen?
No,
Right.
no, no.
Right.
But I think that was the issue too because Donovan Edwards, like I don't think they really felt comfortable with him running in the middle with that cast on still.
No. They're
I
afraid
mean,
of fumbles.
like even during all the other games, right? He never put on the goal line. They never had him in the game.
No.
Not even tried.
No.
Nope. It
So
was
that
at
was
that.
that was one situation where not having Quorum out there that absolutely hurt you. So
Yeah, they didn't have him in at all, and I think it was because of the cast. So, him coming back, maybe we getting healthy, maybe he might pick on some more bulk. You never know. He's a dynamic receiver out the backfield, so we'll see.
how long
But
do you think it's going to be before Harbaugh gets people start talking
uh,
about the NFL?
there we go. I knew you was going to do this to me, Ray. Why do you hate me, Ray?
I'm already hearing it, man.
I know, and it's so annoying because it happens literally the second we get into the playoffs.
I swear, like they're like 2 days after their last game, I'm already hearing Harbaugh is getting sniffs from this team. Harbaugh is getting sniffs from that team.
Already got the Broncos. Already got Colts. Already got what's the
Yep.
new one? The Panthers.
Yep.
The Panthers players are saying they want Wilkinson. They like him at quarterback. I mean coach. So but yeah, man, shout out to TCU. Again, like I said, I'm not mad at that game. I mean, do I wish we won? Hell yeah. Like, dude, but that was such a fun game. I enjoyed every second of that game. Well, maybe not the beginning because that reverse call was the reverse call and the pick six got me. I was just like, dude, what is going on? But excuse me. All in all, that game was definitely fun. I know. Oh, and Chris, our Eagles lost to the Saints. So I had to say this: Eagles lost to the Saints. The issue with us losing to the Saints because we had the Saints first overall pick. So it was like it was just a bad weekend. I'm glad it's 2013 now. 2013, 2023. Oh man, maybe I wish it was 2013. I don't know. But anyway, I think that was Chip Kelly days. Never mind. All right, let's get to our next game, man. I know you Ohio State fans want to talk about this. I do want to know how you guys felt about this game because it was a very close game, 1 point game. Ray, I'm gonna let you start off with this one because I started with the Michigan game, obviously. So,
Well, for first and foremost, I want people to understand that even though I will owe you for a Big Ten team over an SEC team, no matter who they are. So I was actually rooting for Ohio State to win this game.
yeah,
I really was. I mean, I wanted them to win the game. It's not that I dislike Georgia. I don't like the SEC.
yeah.
I don't. So I wanted them to lose. I wanted Ohio State to win because I wanted the team from our area to win the game.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, again, it was a good game, man. Very exciting back and forth. So I got what I really wanted. I wanted a good game, and I got a good game. But I was rooting for Ohio State to win the game.
Yeah, on
Which
my
not showed again that why he's going to be, top 2 or 3 pick in the draft, and
correct.
he's gonna be a player. I mean, I love him, so
Yeah. 100% agree with you, Ray. I don't know, and you got comment in here. Man, I'm ticked off. We let them off. We let him off the hook. Um, I'm not blaming the kicker a bit. 'Cause, FBS and Harrison have been knocked out. Yeah, no, it definitely changed the game for real. And we'll see how that goes. Marvin Harrison Jr. should be back next year, right?
no, he won't be.
Okay, cool. So
He
that's
won't.
good for y'all guys for sure.
Yeah, that kid's
Especially with you're gonna get a new quarterback in there, so that's definitely gonna be big that you have that receiver in still in. Chris says, fun fact, still. Why you have to do that to me? See, Chris, you was doing such a good job. You was doing such a good job, bro. What happened? I'm anyway. But I agree with you in every sense, Ray, except the part with rooting for Ohio State, for obvious reasons. But it's funny. I was talking to Ray right before this, and Michigan, Georgia, and Ohio State played right after the Michigan game, and a lot of my Georgia fans, if you guys don't know, I am currently living in Atlanta, where it's full of Georgia fans. So a lot of my new friends down here are Georgia fans. And y'all was being so obnoxious after Georgia lost, man. I mean, Michigan lost. I was like this close to wanting Ohio State to win. I was like this close. I mean, if you guys would have won, I don't know if it would have been even close to bearable, guys. But I'm just saying, I almost rooted for you guys. I was that close. Y'all Georgia fans was getting a little out of hand. I will say, but yeah, man. Good luck with everything. It was definitely a good game. Last minute field goal. Marvin went 250 plus if he kept playing. He was like, "Yo, Rango, man," and it's funny. I've been hearing some things down here again. I'm in the Atlanta area. A lot of people down here not a big Rango fan, and kind of showed it on Saturday. So, admittedly, I had to eat my crow on Stroud. The kid has finally have his legs to run. He let it all on the field. Shame his college career ended in a shank field goal. Yeah, Chris, I remember you saying that. I mean, especially after the Michigan game, and like you point out some great stuff, and maybe that's what people were saying, and it helped him out in this game. He was not, in that Michigan game. He had lanes to run, and he just would not take it. And he was doing it now. I mean, he only totaled 34 yards, and he had a. I'm sorry, yeah, 34 yards. He had a total of 27 with 12 attempts. So you look at that, you're like, huh? But like, at least he was trying to get out the pocket, moving around, stuff like that.
CJ Stroud moved well in the pocket.
Yeah,
It's not like he don't move well in the pocket. He doesn't want to run the ball. He's
yeah,
smart. He wants to play quarterback.
yeah.
I mean, people fall in love with guys that run the ball. I mean, like honestly, inevitably, usually a running quarterback won't win a big game
Yeah.
because they
How
only
do
make plays out of running the ball.
no, yeah,
Lamar
definitely.
Jackson will never win in the playoffs because that's all he does.
I agree. How do safeties fall on deep plays twice? Also, did not know the first down could be reviewed. Is that a new rule? I'm trying to think what play you're talking about, Ray. If you know what you're talking about, please refresh me. But
I think that anytime you're in the end of the half or a quarter, they can
yeah,
review it then, or it can be reviewed then.
yeah, it's a little bit different with college.
It is.
But yeah, if I'm not mistaken, because like I think college, I believe college has a little bit more leeway on reviews than
Well,
NFL.
yeah. And plus, college coaches have a lot more say than NFL coaches.
Yeah, it's true. But I will say this. I think this uh, rest call refs called turnover on downs, then reviewed the call on first down when Georgia tight end called the ball. I don't remember that play. I'm sorry. I'm not remembering that play. Ray, you remember it?
I read it now. Down.
Yeah.
Yeah, because again, they weren't sure if it was a catch, so it reviewed by the upstairs automatically.
Oh yeah. Okay. I remember it now. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's just the thing now. If it's in question at all, and now
You
like
got to remember in college football when you get a first down, the clock stops.
yeah,
Okay, so
exactly.
you got to remember that.
So that allows, yeah, you're right, and
Correct.
so that allows
And
them
now
to
it's time for a
review
review.
it.
Yeah.
And it's and I think in college it's the same in NFL, but they don't let the if I'm not mistaken, the people upstairs or people in New York, as they always say, um, they have in college they have more control over what can be reviewed. Like even with the review, so the refs don't really they look at it with the people upstairs, but like the call really goes to upstairs.
The call comes from upstairs
Yeah,
originally, and then refs call for a review.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how it is. So it gives them more clarity or whatever with that. So yeah, that's how it is. Um yeah, it's a little different with NFL with college. I actually kind of like it, honestly. Because it'd be some questionable stuff. Now that Michigan call, anyway, I'm joking. But no, all in all, fun game. If you guys love, high scoring, last minute wins, this and that. Those two games were definitely what it was meant to
And
be. I hope,
also the one thing I will say to like wrap up the game is we knew Ohio State's defense was not good most of the year, and this is
yeah,
the one game where it really hurt them. A
yeah,
lot of
no,
missed tackles. I
yeah,
mean, I still don't believe in Stetson Bennett, but they made him look really good in this game. So
did it. Whatever, man. No excuses, though. We let stop saying that. We let them off the hook. The rest, the left didn't lose the game. The kicker wasn't at fault for shanking the last minute. Eat the loss. Just want people to stop talking about Georgia like they're Alabama. I mean, yeah, Alabama or something. Yeah, they're not Alabama, but like they had two really good runs with two really good defenses. I will say, like kind of like Ray saying, I think like the Stinson Benson
Bennett.
hype is getting a little out of hand. Again, I'm down here. I hear it all. These guys are definitely hyping him up, especially after he got like nominated for the Heisman Trophy Award, which again me and Ray still kind of about. But hey, man, one champion in 40 years. Come on, man. Bama is king. Let's not hype them up like that. Oof, man. Gosh.
No one hypes Georgia up to be Alabama, but they've had a good run for 2 years.
Yo, Remy, and I'm glad you're saying this actually because and again, I'm not even 100% sure that's Remy. I keep saying Remy, but it's funny you're saying it is Remy. I'm sorry, but I think it's just funny because what you're saying is exactly what I'm hearing, but I'm down here, so like I'm downplaying it a little bit. But if you're feeling that way, you might be right. You might be onto something. I mean, I don't know. I don't have.
I honestly think if this was Ohio State 3 years ago, when they had really like top 5 defenses,
Yeah.
they smashed Georgia. But that defense is not what it used to be. It's not.
Yeah.
Even their line play is not as good as it has been. So
Yeah.
this is the game where their suspect defense come up and bit them in the rear end.
Definitely.
But I shouldn't say that. They've been leaking oil all year, but you can't leak oil in a game this big.
No, 100%. So I hope the championship game will be good. We're gonna talk about that in a little bit and do a little review on that. Man, up here in Philly and seeing these guys wearing Georgia hoodies, shirts like they Georgia fans now. What is like that up there? Ray, can you confirm?
Well, we know that most Philadelphia fans are front runners.
I'm done.
Yeah, man.
I'm done
It's
with
like
you,
in the
man.
early '80s. You'd have thought there was in the early '80s. You'd have thought there was many Bills fans living around here as there were Eagles fans.
Yo, Ray, you
That's a
kind of
fact.
Right, you low key have a point there because you know what?
That's fact.
You know what? Because a lot of our Eagles fans that were Eagles fans back then became Cowboys fans.
Correct. Well, here's it is. And I blame gambling for it because degenerates don't have loyalty to anybody. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm serious, man. I remember late 80s, early 90s. Now, don't get me wrong. Part of it was because the Bills were playing the Cowboys and the Redskins and the Giants every year to go to win the Super Bowl. So people just gravitated towards them. But dude, there's a lot of front runners in this area.
It is. It is.
I mean, I shouldn't. I mean, here's the difference. I've been down to Miami. There's a lot of front runners down in Miami too, but most of those people are not from there.
Yeah, there are a lot of tourists, and yeah, you're right. Yeah, so that's funny, but I think it was just funny you just said that, right? All right. But we've been spending half the podcast on those two teams, so we're gonna kind of skimmer along a little bit and talk about the rest of the bowl game because there was a lot of good games outside of those two games. So I kind of want to talk about it, and let's get to. I gotta, dude. Like, I gotta apologize again, man. I'm mad. I gotta do this because I
Jinx.
keep, I keep doing it.
Jinx.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Utah. I am so sorry. I'm sorry. I don't learn my lesson. Hi, I hear you're right. Unless you're a diehard college football fan like us, you have no loyalty to anyone and just a front runner. Also,
Again, I know I've been around enough gamblers to understand that really they don't have no loyalty to anyone.
yeah,
They don't like, and you know what, man, and I understand. The only fans that drive me crazy are the ones that root against all the local teams.
yeah.
That annoys me.
No, I agree. All right, let's get to it. Utah versus Penn State, right? Um, it was looking good. It was looking like a good game. Penn State, for the most part, the game was a good game. Penn State at the end started running away with it. Funny enough, I thought Penn State had a lot more rush yards. Utah actually had more. They had 184, and Penn State only had 169. But Ray, what was your initial thoughts on that game?
I think that Penn State. This is going to sound stupid. The fact that they didn't give up on the run as quickly as Utah did. They made plays throwing the ball. Both teams did, and I don't understand what happened with Cameron Rising.
He got injured again. He hurt his knee.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that.
Two bowl games in a row.
All right, well,
that was
they got suspect quarterback play.
Right,
and
that was a big factor. But at the same time, Penn State was getting a lot of momentum right before that happened.
Oh, they were. Yeah. And the fact that Sean Clifford played a good game. I mean, he did. I mean, I don't think he's a good player, but he played a good game.
I was about to say, Ray, because like all these Penn State fans are like, Clifford's good. What are you talking about? He been doing some stuff this year. I mean, what's your is he not good or is he like? I feel like he's a fronter, bro. Like he pops up here and there, and like I don't know, but good for Clifford, man. They get 10 years of his life at the university, and finally.
So
that, you almost killed me on that one.
Next year, season 11.
Remy, I gotta give it to you. That was the quote of the day. That was the quote of the day. That was good. Oh my goodness, that was good.
He won one before Michigan did.
All right, that does it for our podcast for today. Oh, right.
Oh man, sorry, man.
You're wrong for that. Taking shots. Okay.
No, I just again.
Remy,
and it wasn't Penn State ran the ball for a lot of yards. They made a lot of explosive plays running the ball.
They did. Yeah, I agree with you, Ray. Like you said, with Singleton, 2 touchdowns, 120 yards. He had the big bulk of it, and this kid is a freshman. He's a freshman
He's a
running back.
home run threat anytime touches the ball is what he is.
Yeah, he played really, really well, and I think Utah was not ready for that. I mean, you have two freshman running backs. You don't expect them to play the way they did. But
Utah is a little bit like Clemson, that they wanted to let their linemen just run upfield. And
yeah,
that's fine when you're playing against a pass. But you might want to watch that guy run next to you, man, because you're about ready to run for like 20 yards.
no, for real. Um, yeah, but like I'm saying, when I think Cameron Rising got injury was at the worst time it could have been. I mean,
It
if
was.
it, he they would. I mean, Penn State was like I said, Penn State momentum was already there, so you can't really say if Rising was really in the game. They should or they could have won or they should have won.
Nah,
Can't
Penn State
really
won because
say
they were more
that.
physical, man.
Yeah, I can't. You
What?
can't really say that, but you can say, hey, they had a better chance with him being in. Once he was out, it was pretty much lights out from that. And um, that last touchdown that Utah got, that was like garbage time touchdown. The game was pretty much over. They was already about to celebrate. Gatorade bath was about to get poured on to their head coach. So I I can't necessarily say that was a uh a comeback for them or even close at the end because it was 14-38 most of the fourth quarter. Um but I will say again, I apologize to you guys, Utah. I'll do better next year. I'll do better. The jinx is real.
It's been 2 seasons, though, Jerome. You've been
I
doing it.
know. I can't help it. I gotta figure out. I gotta find another team to secondarily like, cause I can't like Utah like that no more. Cause I'm jinxing them.
Can
Yeah,
you like USC like that next year?
maybe I'll be a Notre Dame fan.
No, you won't. Nah, it's okay. I don't.
Oh,
Nah, I'm not going to say it. Go ahead.
hey, let's go. Let's go to Tennessee versus Clemson. Not one of the closer games that we thought it would be, but I just wanted a quick recap on what did you think about this game? Because a lot of people thought maybe these two teams could have been or should have been in the playoffs.
You could argue that Tennessee, even though they didn't play that great this year, they played well down the stretch. And
Yeah.
honestly, they did what Notre Dame did to Clemson. They let
Mhm.
their ends get upfield and double teamed inside and just gashed them on the ground.
Yeah. We talked about this a little bit last week, but I was very surprised. Joe Milton played very well.
He did.
Um, and my boy Klubnik, why was he throwing so much? I mean, don't get me wrong.
That's Clemson, though. They fall in love with their quarterbacks and
Yeah,
want to act like everybody's Trevor Lawrence.
yeah,
Yo, yo, Trevor was pretty special, guys. You might want to realize that.
yeah, he was. I mean, they gave the whole ranks to Klubnik. I mean, listen to this: 59 attempts in the passing game, 20 attempts in the running game. The ball was in his hand. And Greg, you know how much I love the kid, but you're trusting in a freshman quarterback, first year playing to be in your playoff game, and you're leaning on him that heavily. That's a little much for a freshman quarterback. No matter
Agreed.
how talented they are, mentally is not gonna be there. He did get 320, but no touchdowns and two interceptions. He did get a rushing touchdown, but outside of that, the offense was pretty stale. I mean, it was too much him trying to pass the ball, and I know they got behind at one point. It was 21-6 at the end of the third quarter,
Mm-hmm.
but even then, you still somewhat in it. Like you don't have to
Down
pass
by, no, you're down by
all
two.
that much in the fourth quarter.
I don't understand. Like, I think Dabo's a good coach. He
Yeah,
completely got outclassed in this game.
it was crazy, and it didn't help that the defense was just non-existent.
Nah, it was bad.
It was
I
very
mean,
bad.
the linebacker play was almost as bad as Michigan's.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I get it. You're taking more shots at me,
I'm
but
not being honest, man. Like I've never seen so many. I've never
no,
seen
you're right.
linebackers miss so many tackles.
No, you're 100% right.
Like linebacker,
Yeah,
like yo, man, a lineman gets a glancing blow at a running back running by him. It happens. A defensive back comes up and he doesn't know exactly how it happens.
yep.
Linebackers are paid to hit people. Okay.
No, I
Period.
agree. It was, yeah. It I don't know. I don't even know how to finish this. I really don't. I just feel like they just got outcoached. It really did. So could be a lot worse. You could had USC's defense.
USC has a defense right now.
Right. Quick question, Ray. Thoughts on Hartman transferring to Notre Dame? Yeah, Ray. That's actually a good. Thanks, Chris, for saying that because I forgot to ask you
No,
about
I
that.
have it right here in my notes, man. I was going to bring it up.
You want to talk about it
Ecstatic.
later? You want to talk about? Okay.
We can talk about it again later if you want. Ecstatic. Can't
You
wait.
can talk about it now. You can talk later. It's up to you.
No, I'm very excited about it now. Like that was the one position on offense where they didn't have much.
Yeah.
That wide receiver. The wide receivers are still young. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens. Now they have an established guy who's a good quarterback coming in next year.
Correct.
And then transition to the guys you have coming in the 2024 class, and you're good at quarterback now.
Yeah, and I feel like Heath Fisher,
Oh, he does. He fits perfectly, man.
really does.
Play option, like can run the ball a little bit.
Yep.
Perfect. Can't wait.
The only thing I'll say is I hope your offensive line is a little bit better than it was last year.
They are going to improve because they have good kids coming in.
Yeah.
And I think there's something to build on from last year. They're going to be a good run blocking offensive line.
Definitely.
The problem was with their quarterback was that if they didn't get any yardage for running the ball at all, the quarterback couldn't make plays, man. I mean, he's just not good. And Tyler Buckner played a really good bowl game. He did throw one bad pick, one pick that happened. But now you have this kid coming in to compete with Tyler Buckner. I mean, you go from having a C grade at quarterback to having an A minus, a B plus. I'm happy about it.
Oh yeah, I think it's gonna be good for Notre Dame for sure.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna get to our next game real quick, and then we're gonna talk about some stuff afterwards. But let's get to Tulane versus USC, Ray. Ooh, man. Talk about not having a defense. We just talking about that. USC giving up 46 points. Tulane winning by 1 point. And it's funny because your boy over there, Caleb Williams, played very well.
He did.
Very, very well. He was making some, and I hate to make a comparison, but a lot of people say he was doing some Mahomes stuff, and he was showing some Mahomes plays. What would you take away from this whole game, right?
Well, apparently he's Superman, and his kryptonite is run defense on the other side of the ball. They ran the ball for 307 yards, man. They averaged double-digit carrying.
Yeah.
So every time they touched the ball, running the ball, they got a first down.
Yeah.
That's just – I can't even call that bad defense.
Yeah.
That's no defense. That's just – I mean, like it almost surprises me that they went as far as they did with that defense, to be honest with you. But the quarterback was great, and he outscored teams most of the season. So
it felt like it was 7 or 11.
It did.
It felt a little unfair at one point.
Their defense is so bad that like pretty much USC when Notre Dame played USC, USC's offense dominated our defense. Yeah. They played great for like 2.5 quarters, completely dominated us. But their defense was so bad it kept us in the game.
Yeah, I mean both defenses wasn't good. I mean,
yeah,
they had over 1,100 yards. Both teams.
You expect USC's defense to take advantage of a Tulane defense,
correct?
But you don't expect Tulane's offense to take advantage of even a Pac-12 defense. You know?
Yeah, and that catch at the end, man, that was clutch. I mean,
it was
That was
Again,
hey,
all I want is good games. I got plenty of that, so
that
I'm
was
good.
that was such a good game. And when I seen that touchdown, I was like, no way did you stack that. It was definitely a fun game. Um, let's get to. I think we had another close game, and then we'll kind of close it off with this, and we'll talk about next week. Um, we did that game. What was the other close game, right? What am I missing? What am I missing?
The only other games we didn't Washington, Texas.
Washington, Texas. Eh.
I mean, North Carolina, yeah, North Carolina. South Carolina, Notre Dame, the score was close, but the game really wasn't that close.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it
Maybe
was.
Alabama, Kansas State. I think Kansas State. I know that.
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk about that
Oh,
one.
yeah, yeah.
oh,
Not a defense on the Kansas State side of the ball.
um, man, that might have been the only game we was gonna actually discuss today. We're running kind of late anyway, so we can talk about next week now.
Just fine.
Yeah. So, real quick, Chris says also the conversation happened yet about Lincoln Riley and big games. Ooh.
That's a conversation when he gets a chance to add some players to the defense. I mean, I agree with Chris. He's
Yeah.
not coach good in big games or well in good in big games, but he has only been at USC for one season, so we'll see what happens. I mean, the problem is his defenses at Oklahoma were horrible too.
Yeah.
So we'll see, you know.
Yeah. No, I agree with that for sure. All right. All right. Let's get to the championship game, the Natty. Let's get to it. We already talked about it. The two teams, both well deserving to be in there. TCU, Georgia. Where is my thing? I had it in here. I guess I haven't, so I'm gonna have to write it up real quick. TCU, Georgia. Ray, who you got?
I mean, I got Georgia. I got Georgia. I mean, I don't know what the spread is. I'm going to check that right now. It's 12 and a half.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I
it's
mean, I'm
probably
going to take Georgia to win the game,
yeah.
obviously, but I think that I think Georgia's defense is going to be good enough to
All right, so
hold them to like
let's
17,
let's do
20.
this because we're both gonna pick Georgia, and I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure most people are gonna pick Georgia. What will it take for TCU to win this game?
turnovers. It's the only thing. Time of possession. Can they hold on to the ball and keep? But I don't know if they can.
I think they're gonna have to do a lot of what they did to Michigan, and that is get the big plays when the big plays are there to make.
Mm,
Um, I think that, um, like you said, run the ball, keep the time of possession as much as possible, get that defense tired if you can. Stay on the field. Don't give them a reason to get on short field and get the defense rested. It's almost the opposite of what you would do. What you would typically think you need to do is score quick, hurry, get the defense off the field because you know it's a good defense. I'll say get the defense tired, and like you said, obviously it's always turnovers. So turnovers is always the big thing you want to do. Offensively, like I said, big plays when you can. But like I said, get that defense tired as possible. Defensively, um, get to Bennett. I think if you get to him, I think you'd be fine. Obviously, you're gonna have to stop the run. That's huge. So you gotta, like I said, they did pretty much that to Michigan. Outside of us being able to get big plays in the passing game, but if they did to what they did to Michigan defensively, stop the run, and then when they do pass, get to Bennett.
I don't think that. I don't expect Georgia's linebackers to tackle as poorly as yours did, though.
I agree, 100% agree.
That's the problem. I mean, right there.
Yeah. Draft question. When you're done, if the Seattle was on the board, Stroud or Jalen, uh, mm,
That's really
Let's answer
difficult.
that now. That's a good question. I would say, and this is the only reason I'll say this. I would say get Stroud because Geno Smith, as much as you think you can play with him, you don't know what you're gonna do this offseason. I believe this is last year his contract. You get the quarterback that you, if you really like Stroud, get Stroud, and then get your pass rusher at the end of the round.
The question is this: How would
You got
Seattle?
first round picks.
How would Seattle get the third pick? Because they have 2 picks.
Yeah, they got 2 picks.
Okay.
Seattle currently holds the Broncos first round pick. So they got 2. I want to hear what you think though, right?
You know what? That's difficult, man. Because I like Stroud. But Jalen Carter is a stud, man.
I know.
Man, that's hard. That's a difficult
Yeah,
question.
right.
I guess it depends on how much you really depend on Geno Smith. Do you think
That's
he
what
can
I
be a
mean.
good player for the next 5 years, or was
Yeah,
this season an anomaly? You know,
yeah, and he did kind of tell off a little bit at the end of the year.
he did.
He did warn himself to be the starter again. He did.
He did. So I mean, but
But
could
it's
you?
like,
He's kind of like that. Was he like 31, 32 now?
yeah, he's
He's
older.
kind of like right in that area where you want to bring in another quarterback to play behind him anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying.
So, you know what? If Stroud is there, I'm taking him.
Exactly.
I'm
Gino
taking him.
just turned 32 in October.
Right.
So
So
in the
that's
middle.
really like usually when a guy is 33, 34, 35, you start thinking about his replacement anyway.
Correct.
If Stroud is there and he's on the board, he's too good of a talent. I have to take him.
Yeah, and like I said, I think this might be Gino's last year of his contract, if I'm not mistaken. So they're gonna have to resign him if they do keep him. And what's gonna be his asking price?
Well, the problem is this: like no one else is going to give Geno Smith too much money anyway. So
exactly.
maybe Seattle gets away with paying him $20 million a year.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, this is last year.
This is another subject for another day, and maybe I should be doing this on the NFL thing. But are you paying Jalen Hurts $30 million a year, dude? $40 million a year after this season?
Depends what he does. If he wins the Super Bowl,
well, he's not going to win the Super Bowl. But besides for that, even if he carries out and has a good and goes in the NFC Championship game, say, are you paying him $30 million, $40 million a year, dude? Because I had a guy telling me that he's going to get $40 or $50 million a season.
Ooh, no, he ain't getting that.
All right. Right. Well, I'm going to be honest with you, dude. I wouldn't pay him more than 25.
I agree with that, Ray. I agree. 35, maybe 40. Again, depending on what he does. If he's definitely getting a contract, though, he's definitely getting a contract, and it's gonna have to be after this year.
Chris, your question is Stroud or Gilbert the safer pick? Is Gilbert?
My Stroud or Gilbert?
Yeah, defensive lineman. He's a safer pick.
I think it's Will Allen. Anderson, sorry.
But he didn't say Will Anderson's going to be taken with the first or second pick, dude. We already know that. Third pick.
Is he talking about between Carter and Stroud?
Carter. Carter's a safer pick. Jalen Carter is a safer pick. For sure.
I agree. If you talk about out of the two, yes, I think he's talking about in the first round, though.
Yeah, well, he's saying if you took one of them two with the third pick, who was a safer pick? The defensive line is a safer pick. Not to mention he's going to play right away for you.
Exactly. And produce right away.
Correct. Yes. Jalen Carter's going to be a stud.
Yeah, he's saying overall. No, just overall in the first round prospect.
Will Anderson's the best player in the draft.
Will Anderson.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't need a quarterback, Will Anderson's the best player in the draft.
Another reason why I'm pissed that the Eagles lost to the Saints, because the Saints been on a 3-game winning streak, and we were in top 3 territory for a minute. We was at 4 for a hot minute.
It's funny we're talking about
4, but trade up scenario.
You're going to
If we
trade
really
two
want to
first
do
round
it,
picks to move up 4 picks, 2 picks
no. I would bet like 1, 2, and maybe next year's 2 or something like that.
to get Will Anderson.
Yeah, I would.
He would be a stud in your defense the way it sits right now.
I know.
He would.
Anyway, I mean, okay. But we're talking about draft right now.
We're always talking about the draft, Jerome.
Yeah, man. I
This is
mean,
my baby.
it's
Go.
coming. We're gonna be talking all about it right now. Since we are on the lines of the draft, let's just talk about it. The three guys that are going to the draft from
Alabama.
Alabama. So they're losing Will Allen. I keep calling him Will Allen. Will
Yes.
Anderson. Bryce Young, and who was the third one?
Jameer Gibbs.
Gibbs. Yeah.
And is it
they're-
nice they didn't play in the playoffs and they actually played in the game?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shocking. I,
Very.
mean, I didn't think players did that anymore. Unless they were getting paid,
I mean, Nick Saban team, man. I'm telling you.
That's why he's the GOAT.
Yeah, you're right. So real quick, Ray, before we get off real quick, I want your quick thoughts on Alabama had a rough year this year, and they're losing 3 of the top guys. How you think they're gonna fare next year?
They're Alabama, man. They just reload from year to year.
I'm trying to remember who's gonna be their starting quarterback for next year. Like, is it gonna be one of their fresh new, quarterbacks?
That's the best thing about going to Alabama. Whoever wins the job.
Yeah, that's true.
It doesn't really matter. That's why people talk about, like, this is why I hate. I mean, it's going to sound like I'm killing Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly never played freshmen. He used to piss me off, okay?
Yeah. I remember you always used to get mad about that, so right. I'm looking at the roster now. So the next quarterback in is Jalen Moreau. I forgot about him. Jalen Moreau. He'll probably be the next one up.
Yep. Like I said, they just reloaded Alabama, man.
Yeah. Ty Simpson, he's a freshman. I don't know too much about Ty Simpson. Kate Caruth. Armani Stewart. They're very young at quarterback. Very young.
Yeah, so they'll go
It's
through.
gonna be a competition for sure.
Of course.
Unless they get some kind of transfer or something like that. But as far as I know, I don't think they have one yet.
Yeah, well, you never know with Alabama, though.
That's true. But yeah, interesting. But that's gonna do it for us today, guys. I mean, wait, let me get to his last comment real quick. Finally, Jerome. Okay, one more draft one. Okay. You draft BJ Robinson in the first round if you Philly. No.
Where would you select the first round?
I'm sorry, Chris. I missed another one of your comments. We get to that in a second. No. Philly been doing very well with not drafting a running back in the first round, and I just think that we need to kind of reload a little bit. I'd rather use that other first round pick for like a DB, either a safety or a corner. As much as what's his name? Can't remember. Edmund? No. What's his name? The kid from Wyoming that we got is Epps. Sorry, Epps. As much as Epps been playing fairly well, I think you can always upgrade there. We don't know what's going on with Bradbury. We have Slay who's getting older in age. I think getting one of those positions, with that second first round pick will be good. We could always do defensive linemen like always. We could always refresh on our offensive line. We got a couple of older guys going in soon. Again, we got Lane Johnson getting up there in age a little bit, so that's always a concern. So maybe one of those positions, and you know how we are. We like doing the offensive and defensive line anyway. So if you don't get it with the higher pick, which is looking like it's going to be 10 or 9 at this point. 11, 10, or 9. I think that's the three possibilities at this point. Um, unless Saints win again, which I hope they don't. Um, but I think that's the possibilities right now of our picks. And then with that last first round pick, either, either that's 25 to 32, I don't think we should go running back there. I think we've proven time and time again, us getting a running back high wouldn't matter because we do really well with it. Westbrook, LaShawn McCoy, now Booby Sanders. I think
Here's the question: you're going to re-sign Sanders?
that is definitely a question, and that's a question I do not want to answer right now. Because, dude, we got so many players that we need to resign this year. Like I said, Bradbury. I still want Garner Johnson. We still gotta get Hurts in there. Um, I think Goddard might be up. If not this year, next year. Um,
You know what, Chris? I'm going to answer that question right there. No, I would not trade back if I were the Bears. You want to put Will Anderson on the team that's going to be playing against you 2 times a year for the next 10 years? I'm not doing that.
Bears have the second overall, and Lions have 4. Would you trade up and trade back if you're? I agree with that, dude. Why would you want to go against Anderson and Hutchinson?
No.
Why would you want to do
No.
that? Like you're asking for it. Like Hutchinson is already starting to take over. Right? Did you see that? Aiden Hutchinson played cornerback.
I did.
I thought that's hilarious. That
Yeah,
was funny.
I just would not do that.
Yeah.
I get it what you're thinking, Chris. I would not be opposed to trading back a couple spots, but not with Detroit.
Not with the Lions. No. Nah, not with that. Not that second overall because
It looks like the one thing about Chicago is their quarterback has really progressed this year, and looks like he's gotten his legs underneath him.
Yeah,
he still has to develop as a passer. I got that part.
Exactly.
I'll take him over Lamar Jackson, but that's besides the point. Go ahead.
The thing about Lamar Jackson always is I always thought he was too thin to be running as much as he does.
I think the same thing about the Chicago quarterback, but I think he is a more accurate passer too. So I'll take him.
Yeah, I agree. But anyway, that's gonna do it for us today, guys. I can't wait till we talk very fully into the draft, and we got one more week until, really 2 weeks because we're gonna talk a lot about the Natty after next week. But we're running down back to the draft season, and we're gonna be answering a lot of these questions and a lot of scenarios like Chris did today. So shout out to Chris, shout out to Remy, and everybody else that's been watching. Appreciate each one of you guys. Mock draft season coming up. Yes, sir.
Wait. Love it.
We're definitely gonna be doing. We probably can do one in the next couple of weeks. Just an early one for me and you, Ray. If you want to do something like that,
sounds good to me.
I think that'd be cool. I think that'd be cool. Absolutely. Maybe not a full first round, but maybe maybe top 10 or something.
Maybe
like
top 10. Yeah, sounds good.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. We do that.
Hopefully, Eagles still have a top 10 pick, but we'll see.
They'll have anywhere from 10 to 15. They'll be fine.
Yeah. No, honestly.
The thing is, you know what, Jerome? I'll be honest with you. If I were the Eagles, I would go offensive line, and I would go defensive back too. I agree with you. I think that there are 2 spots on your roster right now where you don't have a lot of depth. You have good players there, but you don't have depth.
Don't do that to him, Chris. Don't do that to him, Chris. Come on, Chris.
Yo, Chris, you are preaching to the choir. You know what? Right now, Miami's getting ready to hopefully clean house because I'm ready to clean house. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Man,
good.
I'm not gonna lie, Ray. Was not expecting 8-8.
You and me both, man.
Was not expecting that. Y'all was hot.
First and foremost, the owner should be made to sell the team. He's inept and horrible. How could you be a bad NFL owner? You guys print money. But he's inept.
Yeah.
Getting to get his pick taken from you because you're too much of a punk. I mean, come on, man. Like, come on. Let's like, my NFL season has not been fun, man. The last month have been difficult.
I agree.
For the first time in my life, Jerome, they had me questioning if I ever want to be, if I still want to be a Dolphins fan.
Wow. Wow.
That's how bad it is.
Second and fourth for Waddle.
I would do that right now.
You would do it?
Right now.
You would trade Waddle
for a second and a fourth round pick? No. I thought you meant no. Not a second.
I was about to say
a first and a second round pick. I would do it.
I was about to say, Ray. Whoa, you lost.
Not first. So I thought he meant like the second and the fourth pick in the draft.
Oh no! I think he means
no. I would not trade him for a second round and a fourth round pick. I'd trade him for a first and a second.
Yeah. If that happened, that would be crazy.
Well, because I already have Tyreek Hill. How much speed do I need?
That's true.
I mean,
look at Chris. Ray, look at Chris.
You almost had me there, Chris. But here's the thing. Watching the NFL, I like Mike McDaniel. I think he's a good coach. I think he's made a lot of mistakes this year, but I expected a rookie coach to make a lot of mistakes, so I'm fine with that. The one thing I don't understand, when you get down inside the red zone, the 20, 15-yard line, you can't have two guys that are just speed guys on the field still.
That's true.
You have to have guys you can win at the point of ball, contested.
That's why I was happy that we got what's his name instead of, because a lot of people was like, oh, we could have got Tyreek Hill, dude. I was
right. I mean, Tyreek Hill's a great player, and Waddle's a very good player. And from 20 to 20, they're explosive guys who can score from anywhere on the field. But once you get down closer to that goal line, man, you need to be able to go bigger body, double tight ends, a big possession guy. You can have one or the other on the field because you can always just run a guy straight across the field, have him run a shallow cross, and he'll get open. But you can't have two guys doing that. It just clogs up the field.
Definitely. No, I agree. But anyway, he almost had you. So that's all good.
If you can get me the second and the fourth pick in the first round, I'll do that right now.
All right, guys.
Not a second and the fourth. No, not that.
I can't wait till we talk some more draft, man. And this is me and Ray's favorite.
As much as I love college football, man, the draft may be even more fun for me.
I agree.
I can sit here and complain about how many bad picks Miami has made.
Ray,
I will say this also: there's a lot of scuttlebutt about Mike McDaniel's job being on the line right now because if they lose to the Jets this week,
after his first year,
that's what I said, dude. But I will say this: Chris Greer should be fired. Miami's GM.
That Mike. I think the players really like Mike. They responded to him. Again, first year. They said the same thing about Sirianni. They said the same thing about
right. Andy Reid after his first year, people wanted him fired here.
Who was our coach last year? I'm forgetting that fast. 2 years ago, I'm sorry. Plays for the Jags. Doug Peterson.
Right.
It was Doug Peterson out the first year. Come on, man. Calm down.
Come on, man. Like, you gotta. I don't want to get rid of I do want to get rid of my GM though. I do. I want to trade him. I want to get somebody in there who, man. And I know people are going to get. Dude, I keep going back to 2020. Justin Herbert, Austin Jackson. I'm sorry. I'm going to Tua Tagovailoa, Austin Jackson, Noah Igbenogany. You know what's funny when I tell
the last one is the worst one though. I'm sorry. The last one is the worst one.
You know what, Jerome? I almost don't agree with you because, yes, you should never take a corner with one good year of film. You never should. And that's number one rule for me. 1 good year of film for a corner, I'm not taking him in the first round. Austin Jackson blows, period.
And he was hold on, but the worst part of that, it was you drafted a corner in the first round. That's going to be your slot guy.
Again, it was a bad pick, but Austin Jackson stinks.
Wasn't he doing better at guard though? I mean, not guard. I think he switched positions, like
Well, he
switched
played
side.
right tackle in the beginning of the year. Last year he played a little left guard.
Yeah.
You know what he didn't play? He didn't play water boy yet. Can we let him play there? Yo, man. Here's what, and this is what bothers me. I could have told you when they drafted him that he can't play. But I'm sitting here talking to you, and I have GMs making millions of dollars and blow my picks.
We need to run that tape back. I need receipts.
Yeah, man. Okay, I'm going to put it like this. And I know you know most of this. When they drafted in that draft, I wanted Justin Herbert. I did. I wanted Herbert. Okay?
I know that for a fact. He did say that.
I wanted Justin Jefferson with the 18th pick. I wanted a wide receiver. I wanted Justin Jefferson.
I think you wanted the running back too, right?
And I wanted to take the running back with the third pick. It could have been either DeAndre Swift or Jonathan Taylor, but I wanted to. The crazy thing about it is you could have traded back into the second round, gotten more picks, and still got either one of them guys.
Or not both, but either one. Yeah, that's crazy.
And then, man, I get so.
Let's get out of this podcast for.
I'm gonna blow a blood vessel here, man.
we don't want that to be live, guys. But thank you guys for coming out with us, man. Thank you for hanging out with us. I need to sneeze so bad.
Before we go, one more thing to say, Jerome. Damir Hamlin, all reports are he's doing a lot better now.
Yes,
back from Buffalo. Godspeed. Rooting for him to get better. Yes. I'm not going to worry about him getting back on the field. Let's get him out of the hospital, back with his family.
That's the last thing on my mind. I just want him to be.
You know what's funny? I love, though, I heard today, I saw a report, when they revived him today, he revived him. He's actually talking to people now. What was the first thing he asked? Do you know that?
Yep. He said, did we win?
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Priorities.
Football mentality, brother.
Look,
let's win, baby.
Look, man, we covered the best sport in America, best sport in the world, man. There's no other. I don't think we would have seen any other sport where people come together and the way they did. I mean, the leadership. I feel bad for the Bills fans or Bill players and staff and the coaches and everybody that knew him. Shout out to the Bengals organization and team to have understanding and was very humble and didn't worry about our record. We have playoffs going. They was like, man, cancel this game. They was like, cancel the game. They agreed with Buffalo Bills. Shout out to them for that, for sure, man, because they didn't have to do that. I hope T. Higgins is okay too, because I heard he was getting a lot of slander. That's messed up. That you shouldn't never do that. No matter. It wasn't intentional. And again, DeMar, so glad you're doing okay, man. I'm glad you're communicating and some type of way. You have some functions that you're doing that. I mean, I hope for a speedy recovery, 100%, either that's with or without football. I'm not even concerned about the football thing. I just glad that you're communicating. When I seen that earlier, I was very happy. So I'm happy all the prayers went out and did some great things, Ray. I'm glad you mentioned that because I did just read that.
Also, I just mentioned, Jerome, I mean, we all know from Sean McDermott's time that he was here as a defensive coach, and before that as a coach with the Eagles. The one thing, I mean, it's weird for me because I'm a Dolphins fan, and I don't like the Buffalo Bills, but I do like a lot of players on their team. Yeah. And I know that Sean McDermott is a class guy. Yeah. And as much as I don't root for them,
and that was I don't know if you guys remember when he left Philly, Andy Reid did not want to fire him.
He did not.
He didn't want to fire him.
He didn't.
He's a class act guy. Really. So shout out to him. Shout out to the family that kept us updated, because I'm glad, that was, I felt like one of the players. I'm like, Dad, what's going on? I hope he's okay. That night was a hard night for me. I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't sleep. worried about if he's okay or not. But man, again, shout out to everybody that supported. That either financially, either by prayer, either just by not worrying about the game, and and I know there's a lot of people, Ray included, with fantasy, implications out there, and man, nobody cared about that. Everybody, was worried about this young man and his health, and not worried about the game. So shout out to the people that truly wholeheartedly was not worried about the game and worried about this young man. And the funny thing is, like, we're about to get into the next week, and I don't even care how they figure that game out. I just want him to be okay, and I want his teammates to be okay too. You know what I mean? Because they had to be on the field watching that and scared for their lives, man. And that was a very, very scary scene for real. So I'm glad we got some clarification that he's doing a lot better. I hope he continues to get better. Um, and I hope that he really recovers and keep that same spirit that he had before, because I heard a lot of great things about this young man. So, and I'm not gonna act like I knew him before this, but anytime you see something like this happen, because
I mean,
we play a very violent sport,
that
man.
is that is the one thing I love about the draft, though, Jerome. Because when you follow the draft and you follow these guys, you
Yeah,
don't know them, but you kind of feel
right.
like you know stuff about them.
Yeah, because
You know what I mean?
I
Right,
met him at the Senior Bowl actually. So
right.
like you
And
said,
he
Ray,
went to
like,
University
oh,
of Pittsburgh. We all
yeah,
know that. Blah blah blah.
yeah,
But it makes you feel like maybe you don't know them, but you root for them. You have
correct,
a piece of their part of their life becomes a piece of yours. You know what I mean?
correct.
So
I agree with that. So shout out to that. The mod, the Damon, the Damar. Sorry, Damar. Shout
yes,
out to you, man. Keep being strong, man. I'm pretty sure you're not hearing this podcast, but we are definitely rooting for you. I'm definitely rooting for you. The whole Inside the Hashes and RPO podcast team is definitely rooting for you. So keep recovering, keep doing your thing. I hope we have some great updates very, very, very soon. No rush on it, but at the same time, I hope recover, and you continue to live a great life. So um, again, very violent sport that we play, man. But you never want to see anything like that happen in any kind of capacity. So shout out to the football world, man. It makes you feel like there's still hope out there, for real. It really does. So
yep.
definitely. So all right, guys. Again, that's gonna do it for us. Again, if you want to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, please do that. We got the QR code right under Ray, right over there. So definitely try to hit that and support us. Like and subscribe on YouTube, so when we are live, you can see this. Again, we're gonna be talking a lot of draft stuff right after the college football um, Natty on Monday. So we're gonna talk about the game. We're gonna talk a little bit about the draft, and then we go full force draft right after that. Senior Bowl coming right up. We're gonna be going there, things like that. So again, guys, thank y'all so much. We appreciate all of y'all tuning in. Shout out to Chris. Shout out to Remy. Shout out to everybody else that was in here that didn't comment. Um, Again, appreciate you guys. We see you next week. You have a good one. Stay safe out there. Keep praying for Derman. I keep saying his name. I'm so sorry.
Demir Hamlin. Yes.
Amir, sorry. Demir Hamlin. Keep praying for him and keep that going. And thank you guys again. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.